Love that shit, bro. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of TheLnchtablePodcast. We're your boys, Jay.
You know
Frankie's here as well. We out here, bro. Today, new episodes.
Don't say my name because y'all fucking know who I am.
I'm excited, bro. Actually, I don't know. I'm excited to do this episode.
It's because I haven't been here in 3 weeks. He's missed me.
I have.
I don't know if it's actually been 3 weeks or not, to be honest. I lose track of time because I fucking hate being at work.
Yeah. No, I feel you, bro. It's like, are you still work? You applied at the? I don't put your business out there, but you applied at the other place. Yeah. All right. You have to let us know live updates. Oh, I told you that I applied for a radio job.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think you were telling me about it. What was that, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's when I applied. They didn't hit me back though, so
Fuckers.
yeah. So you know it's what it is. They missed out on. I mean, I don't know. I think my voice is all right for radio, but I don't necessarily think it's the. I mean, it's more like soothing. Like I could do late night radio. You know, I could be like, there's like some smooth jams.
I don't know. I don't think
so?
I have a. Well, no, I'm saying like for you, but I'm saying like, I don't know what like. How the fuck do you know if you have a radio voice? I guess exactly, I wouldn't want to hear my voice over the radio, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't like hearing my voice.
What the fuck is this? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
It's all right. I don't like, even when I'm editing, I don't like hearing my voice. Or there's like I'll think that I'm doing something too much.
It's just weird because like the way you hear your voice when you're talking and then the way that you hear your voice when you hear like a recording, you're like, that's not me. That's not, that's another motherfucker. That's
yeah. Or like my voice to me, like it's so much deeper. You know what I mean? Like I sound like a sexy bitch, but then like when I listen to myself, I'm like damn, that's all like nasal. It all comes from like the nose. Like I'm like, damn, dude. I mean, I've gotten like used to like just hearing it now because I gotta edit, but like I don't know. For the first couple like times, I don't know if I told you this, but I never edited like the first like 3 podcasts we did because I like hated to listen to my own voice.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure like most of the first couple of podcasts that we didn't really need to do anything to.
Yeah, we didn't have to edit it.
You didn't have to edit a video or nothing like that because we weren't doing the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
That reminds me, when I go home, I gotta save that fucking stream that I did.
Yeah.
For Siege, so I can cut the clips up.
Yeah, dude.
I keep forgetting to fucking record it because I don't know how long Twitch like holds your streams, your past streams. But hopefully this one's a little better in quality because when I streamed at 1080, the first time you saw it, like when I'd move around, it got a little, pixelated.
Yeah, a little bit. Or like when an explosion would go off, it would get like a little pixelated.
Yeah, the frame rate would drop a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah. I guess, now I know not to fucking stream at 1080, at least right now until I get a better setup.
I don't even know how to fix that. Like I'm not like familiar with streaming.
I want to say that the reason it's at 1080, it was kind of a little like frame rate drop at 1080 is because I was streaming it from the Xbox directly to Twitch because I don't have like a capture card to hook up. Because I think if I have a capture card, hook it up to the Xbox and hook it up to my PC and stream that way, then I can stream. I could be wrong, but I think that way I can stream at 1080, but I don't fucking know. Yeah. I'd have to look it up. Right now I just ain't worried. I need to find the only thing I'm worried about right now is finding a different job. Once I do that, I will get a little bit more into streaming, but right now I'm fucking over the job I have. So nothing else to me like exists in my state of mind. I'm so fucking annoyed.
Yeah, no, I feel that 100%. Yeah, that's why like I didn't want to work this summer because I felt like I don't know, like there was the only time that I've been like disgruntled at a job. You know what I mean? Like usually I just kind of show up, and even if I'm having a bad day, I'm just like, you know what, just make the best out of it. Like whatever. I was just miserable every day I showed up. I was like, why the fuck am I here right now? It's fucking hot outside. I don't want to be here.
It was like, there's not that many places that I can get to a point where I'm like, I need money, but I don't want to work.
Yeah.
And like, normally the needing money side of it still takes priority over the not wanting to work thing. But like this job, If they offer like VTO, I'm like, I'm fucking gone. I don't care how many fucking hours I work this week. I'm gone. I'm taking that shit. I'm going home.
Yeah. It's like, what do you do now? Like at the place you're at now?
It's literally not like it's so easy. It's so I've never like, and this is the thing that aggravates me the most is that I hate such an easy job because I really don't be doing shit.
Yeah,
like it's what I did at my last job, but like they have robots, so all I have to do is go up to a robot. Fucking find the item in the shelf, put that bitch in the robot, and the robot will go to the next area. I don't have to follow it. I just have to go find another robot.
That's crazy.
But it's just so like them 10 hours there feel like 20.
Because you're not doing anything. You're just finding robots and shit.
Then they just be complaining all day about random shit. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't care. I'm fucking here to work.
Yeah, it's like we're not even like doing anything strenuous. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
I feel like people just find a way to complain about stuff though. You know what I mean? Like I remember listening to this dude and he was saying that what some people like what like rich people complain about, it's like real problems to rich people, but it's like no problem to anyone else. You know what I mean? Like rich people are like, damn, like I lost the keys to my Bentley. Like, oh wow, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm sorry. Go find the keys to your other 5 fucking cars, you prick.
I know it's like, they're like, I can't believe my Bugatti has 3 keys. I can't keep track of them. It's like, is that really a big like issue for you? Like that's what it is. They don't fucking sell your Bugatti for $20 million or however. No,
you want a 2009 Jeep Wrangler? I got you.
We'll swap cars. I'll sell it and I'll become rich. Yeah. And then I'll buy a Jeep Wrangler.
Your car. I'm selling your car. I'm getting a newer Jeep model, and then you can have my old Jeep model. That's it.
Yeah. That's what the crazy thing is. Like Mike Tyson, when he was like heavyweight champion of the world, like highest paid guy, he would be driving like a Bentley or like a Rolls Royce. And drive it into his old neighborhood, and somebody be like, "Hey man, I like that car, man." And he would just give it to them. I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Because then they just do the same thing; they just sell it.
Yeah, it's immediate. Like, oh, this car was owned by Mike Tyson. You want us?
Oh yeah, because he'd be like,
$10 million.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Got you," right? Because there's some super fan out there that's gonna buy it. Some billionaire super fan that's gonna buy it. Or they had
yeah, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy? Or I'm trying to think. There was another guy who, it was similar to like he would just give away shit. No, so in Dubai, right? Like we're all like the trillionaires, like the oil oligarchs, right? The people that own all the oil and shit, right? And they're very likely they're trillionaires because we actually can't count their money because they're kings and queens, right? So you can't like put a price tag on it. So we don't even know. They could be worth trillions of dollars. If you go over there, this guy who's from like Dubai, like Saudi Arabia, he said that his uncle owned a business, and one of his business partners was one of the kings, like one of the sheiks, I guess, right? Like one of the really rich people in Dubai. I think they're called sheiks. I could be wrong, but he pulled up and he was like showing them all their different cars and stuff, right? And he complimented his business partner. He said, "Man, that's a really nice car. That's really cool." And the guy gave him the car, right? And so you can go to like Dubai, and if you compliment somebody, like a rich person, it's sort of like that's their. I wouldn't say their currency, but like that's like not currency because obviously they have money and shit. But like that's kind of their. I don't know. It's like if you like an Instagram person's post or something like that. It's like why they buy a bunch of stuff. It's for that sort of like that kind of attention. And when you give it to them, depending, like obviously you're not going to walk up to like a diamond encrusted fucking Lambo and be like, "Hey bro, I like your car, bro." He's not going to give it to you. But like if it's like like I said, like if it's like a new Wrangler, you'd be like, "Hey man, I really like your new Wrangler," and he might just give it to you. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just book a flight to Dubai and just start complimenting people and shit, and just see how much stuff I can get. But yeah, because I'll give these compliments out. Like I'm a complimentary guy. right? Like I'll give these out. So we might got to go to Dubai, bro. Provided, you know what it is. I don't want to I don't want to fly that long though. That shit's like 23 hours, dude, or some shit like that. It's so long. But like if you're in first class, you have a bed. Yeah, like in first class, like I think some of the seats become a bed, and it's kind of normal. But in first class, like you have your own little apartment, and it's like a bed. Like you can take a shower and stuff too.
What the fuck?
That's crazy, son. Some of these topics are a little crazy, right? I think I already mentioned it. We don't have to start. I mean, obviously Roe v. Wade is the biggest thing, but we don't have to start there. I do want to actually talk about the Obi-Wan series a little bit, because I did really like it. And so, spoiler warning, spoiler to any of you guys out there, we're gonna be spoiling the shit. All right. If you don't have Disney Plus or if you haven't watched it yet, just go watch it. Pause this, go watch it, and then come back and listen to what we're about to say. I thought it was I thought it was really good. I liked it. I also like Ewan McGregor, the guy that plays Obi-Wan. I like him as an actor a lot. I just watched him in Angels and Demons, and phenomenal actor. Like truly a good actor. Obviously Hayden Christensen is still in it, but he's just Darth Vader, so he just sounds like Darth Vader the whole time. It's just him walking around in a suit. So,
although the part where they show his face,
it's really him. Yeah, when they do like flashbacks and stuff.
Well, the flashback parts, and then the part when him and Obi-Wan are fighting, and he manages to cut a piece of his helmet. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it was interesting. It still makes me feel bad. Like Revenge of the Sith is still, to this day, one of my favorite movies, and not because it was a good movie or anything like that, and not like the original movies are obviously the original movies. There's nothing that will, I want to say, be done better than how those were.
Yeah, they transcend reality
to some fans, because most people, they have their preferences. They either like the original three or they don't like the original three. I don't know. All I know is that 4, 5, and 6 were good. 1, 2, and 3. Now that I've been able to go back and watch them, being as old as I was now, like 1 is kind of It's okay. It's better than the second one, in my opinion. Yeah. 2.
Oh, you were telling me it just drags.
That shit's like watching a soap opera. Like I literally,
a space soap opera.
I did not realize and I've watched all of the Star Wars movies a few times. No. But yeah, the second movie is like Attack of the Clones is basically just feels like a soap opera. Like that shit just drags. Revenge of the Sith. Probably one of, like I said, one of my favorite movies. I love Hayden as Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. I loved Obi-Wan. Obviously, what's his name? Ewan? How do you say his name? Oh. Obi-Wan. Ewan? Or is it supposed to be like Evan or Ewan?
Oh, I don't know. I only say it as Ewan. Ewan McGregor. Yeah. It's EWAN.
I like him as Obi-Wan. To be fair, I've never seen him as another. Like, I don't know any other movies that he's been in.
He was in Angels and Demons.
I don't know what the hell that is.
It's like the Da Vinci Code.
Sort of.
It's like part 2 of that. It's pretty good. It's about like religion and the Illuminati and shit like that. It's kind of cool. Well, I don't know. I've always been interested by it, but he was like his whole role in that movie was pretty good. Like I think it was really well played, because like when you didn't trust him, it was a true like untrust, and then there's a point where you do trust him, and you're like, oh, okay, I like this guy. You know what I mean? So to me, like that's kind of the bar. Is like, does this actor make me feel the way I'm supposed to, or does the movie like do it for him? Right? Like, does the way they edit it or the way they cut certain lines, like, you know what I mean? Does that make me not like this guy? Right? That's kind of my bar, but I like him as an actor, yeah.
having now watched all of the Obi-Wan series, I like the series. It just makes me wish that it makes me wish that the sequel trilogy wasn't shit.
Yeah, that was
and by
bad.
sequel trilogy, you know what I mean. 7,
The
8,
last
9.
ones, yeah.
I wish they weren't shit.
Yeah, but they were really yeah.
And then at the same time, I'm kind of like, I kind of wish somebody would have like the balls to go back and kind of like, I don't really care about 7, 8, 9 at this point. Fuck it. I kind of want to see like an alternative version of how Episode 3 plays out.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of Anakin becoming Darth Vader, we see like a different timeline break off at that point. Like I don't know like how they would handle it, but I think it would be interesting to see, because I'm sure that Darth Sidious has a backup plan. I'm sure that his only plan, I'm sure that he is not fully relying on Anakin turning to the dark side as his only plan to move forward with the Empire. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, it's been a while since I've seen the prequels, though. I'm trying to think of. I remember Phantom Menace is probably the one I remember the most, just because I don't know. I think I watched Phantom Menace not too long after I watched Obi-Wan, just because because Qui-Gon Jinn pops up in the last one, and I was like, damn, I miss that man. I miss that guy. But yeah, Phantom Menace was, to me, it was just like a solid movie. You know what I mean? Like, I liked Phantom Menace, but to your point though, I don't know what his alternate thing would be. It'd be kind of interesting to see if if maybe he had somebody else waiting in the wings, or because what is it with the whole premise of the last 3 movies is that Rey is the descendant of Darth Sidious, right? And then
I don't know how and when that came into fruition.
I guess it was his son or whatever didn't love him, and he just kind of abandoned him, and then he went to Tatooine. I felt like all these people end up at Tatooine for some reason. Well, they just go there because it's like nobody wants to be there.
Tatooine, I think, is one of the Outer Rim planets, but
I think, isn't that where Rey's from?
No.
She's not from Tatooine?
No, the planet that she's on, I think at the beginning of 7, is oh no. It starts with a J. I think it starts with a J.
Planet. How do you spell Rey? Is it R-A-E?
It's R-E-Y, I think.
Where planet Rey is from?
Jakku? Is it Jakku?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jakku, yeah.
That's right.
That's what it is. I don't know why I thought it was Tatooine. Maybe because every place that has a desert.
It's a fucking desert planet, so it's basically Tatooine, just somewhere else in the fucking galaxy.
Tatooine with a J. Yeah, but that's how. So he ends up out there just because of he doesn't like his dad.
I don't know. I didn't even try to get into the full story of all the characters that they had in 7, 8, 9 because like I said, once they released 8, I was just kind of done. I was done at that point. I was like, no matter what, the person that had to direct the last movie, which I forget who was it. Was it?
I forget his name, but he's actually a pretty good director. It wasn't
J.J. Abrams, was it?
I don't know. Hold on, what's it? Episode 9?
Yeah, it was the same person that directed 7. I don't know why I can never remember his name.
The Rise of Skywalker. Screenplay. Well, he wrote it, and who directed it?
I think it is. It was J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams. He did the screenplay. Yeah, directed by J.J. Abrams. I'm stupid.
So yeah, J.J. Abrams directed the 7th and the 9th movie. But after seeing the 8th movie, I knew already by that point that no matter what they tried to do in 9, it was not going to fucking work.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you ever hear when they talk about it, when my man's, oh my God, what's the guy? George Lucas. When he talks about it, he was like, I wanted to do 3 more episodes, right? But to do it the right way, I would have had to. It would have taken me like 10 years to do it the right way, like to actually flesh everything out, to find the right people and do it and like film everything and like yeah. So and for perspective, for like the viewers, it was 10 years for the Infinity Saga for Marvel. So from the first Iron Man, which is like the first MCU movie, to Endgame, that was 10 years. So that's like what you were looking at. He was like, it was going to take me 10 years to write it, flesh it, film it, and then put it all out there. So, and that's all 3 episodes, 3 of the, I guess, the sequels. So, and then Disney wasn't interested in it. Disney was like why? We don't have 10 years, bro. Right? And he was like, well, if we're going to do it the right way, he's like, I'm 70. I don't know if I'm going to be here when I'm 80. Like if we're going to do it, but it'd be like ASAP. And so he just said that Disney wasn't interested in them, interested in him being there. So he just sold Lucasfilm to them, and you could see what happened. Like they just kind of made shit up, right? Like they tried to bring in these people, and it was like Disney did what Warner Brothers did to like DC. You know what I mean? Like Disney did to Star Wars what Warner Brothers did. They were like, we don't really care about getting good directors in. We don't really care about making everything cohesive and whatever. We just care about like making money. So we're just going to put out 3 Star Wars and people are going to come see it because it's like nostalgic.
Well, it's weird because like all of the movies for DC that you see, they're kind of
Yeah.
I mean, most of them aren't good, but
all the team up ones suck.
Yeah, like they kind of all like loosely come together. But if you look at it, like I don't know how many of the DC shows you've watched.
I only watched like what my sister and them watched. Like I've seen a couple episodes of Flash, a couple of the Green. Was it the dude that shoots hit the Green Arrow?
Well, it's weird because when they do like crossovers and shit for like the TV shows. Yeah. So if I'm right, I think it's like the Legends of Tomorrow basically started off because of the crossover events between like Green Arrow, Supergirl, fucking Flash.
Yeah.
I thought there was another one, but I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But like,
it was like Superman. There was like they had not
Smallville or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, they had the Superman from because they at the end they did like there was like a 2-episode 2-hour like I think I want to say it's Flash or Super something like that, but I want to say towards the end they did like the TV shows are almost better than the movies because the TV shows everything overlaps, everything connects, but like they did like this 2-hour excuse me. Like I forget what it was called. It's like this thing where like the Anti-Monitor is coming. It's like this big wave of like shit that just kills planets, and they're testing all the different people, like all the different versions of the superheroes to see if they can stop it. And I think I forget what the crossover is called. It's like it's like it's like a super ending universe or some shit like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody can correct me on it, but it's like the old. You remember the first Superman, Man of Steel, not the one with Henry Cavill, but like the first one that they ever had.
Yeah.
Right. So that actor's in it. He plays Superman. Then they have the guy that plays Superman he plays Superman in like the series. Right, and they have like a crossover event, and then all 3 Flashes have a crossover event, right? So, and that stuff is actually kind of cool because you get to see the guys from the movies, you get to see the guys from this. So that was actually cool. But everything else, like if we're talking in terms of movies, everything is just kind of feral.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that the shows come out to be a little better than the movies in terms of DC, at least. Like I know Marvel had a couple of different shows that they kind of like connected in with the main events that were happening in the Avengers movies. So like I think when the first couple like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really the one that comes to mind because that's the one that I watched.
Yeah. Was that good?
I enjoyed the first couple of seasons of it, but then it kind of got stale.
Yeah, but Yeah, that's kind of what ends up happening. If there's no like underlying thing, it gets stale.
I mean, they did show off Ghost Rider. Like Ghost Rider eventually came into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think that wasn't until like the 4th season.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know. I kind of watched through until like the 3rd season, and I was done.
You're over it? Yeah.
It's done. I mean, it wasn't a bad show, but it's like they were connected. So the events that happened in the main movies did have an effect on what happened in the show.
Yeah.
But like once we got to, I think it was Infinity War, that was when the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of just split off, because nothing that happens like beyond Infinity War, like gets mentioned at all in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh.
So I don't know if they just decided to kind of go off on their own thing, because, I mean, I don't know what they would do in that situation. I was curious to see what they'd do, but as soon as they were kind of like, yeah, we're not going off of that, I was like,
MCU,
I can't imagine, like, for like a season or two, you guys basically just have to get rid of like half of your cast because because of stuff was happening off screen. I was interested to see if they do something like that, and they didn't. So I was kind of like, "Oh, okay." So I see they're just gonna pair off into their own thing. So now this now at this point, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like not relevant to the MCU, I guess.
Oh, I mean, that's kind of cool, but I also think like they definitely had an opportunity to bring in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because that's a Netflix thing, right?
No, that was an actual TV. I want to say it was ABC. Something like that. Okay. NBC.
Because they brought in, so maybe that was like Marvel's first crack at it, like before Disney Plus. Maybe they were just like, why don't we sell like the rights to a couple different smaller franchises and see if they go over well.
It's weird because they did do that to Netflix. Like Netflix had a couple of Marvel shows. Like they had Luke Cage.
Yeah, The Punisher, Daredevil. Yeah,
Daredevil, and there was one other one.
So Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Because those are just the ones that are on. I've never watched any of those. But those are the ones that are on what's it called, Disney Plus now, because they just kind of folded them into, like they folded all the Netflix stuff. They folded that into that's all canon now. For the MCU.
Watch. I will say from those shows, I watched a little bit of Daredevil. I didn't really get into it.
Yeah,
I did not watch Jessica Jones.
Hell no. Sorry, I mean no disrespect, but I ain't watching that shit.
I watched the first season of Luke Cage. I don't remember if it got a second season.
I heard Luke Cage was actually pretty good.
I like Luke Cage.
My brother liked it. Yeah, my brother thought it was really good. But I haven't watched it because they have a crossover. So I think all of the people. And Iron Fist, is that another one?
That's right, because Iron Fist wasn't made. I tried to watch Iron Fist, but that was.
It's kung fu and shit. Like that's not really my thing, at least.
Well, for me, it was like
you don't like the kung fu shit.
Well, that and it kind of felt like watching the beginning of Green Arrow again, because at the beginning of Iron Fist, I'm fairly certain like the circumstances that surrounded the main character were pretty similar.
Right.
I think. I don't really remember. Like I said, I didn't really like Iron Fist, so I didn't care.
Yeah. But like Green Arrow was like former special forces guy, got excommunicated. Like, is that kind of the similar thing? No. Wasn't he former special forces or something like that?
No.
All right.
That man was like he was a rich kid that just got trapped on an island.
All right, I didn't know that.
He got trapped on like an island, and then like a bunch of shit happens to him while he's on the island, and that's why he ends up coming back the way that he does.
See, because I only saw the part where there was an episode that I saw with my sister, and I was like, he was like at an airfield, and he was trying to steal a plane to fly back somewhere, and I was like, oh, like, but he had like a full vest on and shit. So I was like, oh, he's like special forces. Like,
I think eventually, like, I forget what season it was, but eventually in Green Arrow, they do explain like he did eventually get off of that island, but then he got
he got like Wilson.
Shit,
he got shot out, and then he had like a friend with a palm on it.
Nah,
like a palm of blood on a ball.
I'm trying to remember what is the group that the Suicide Squad gets formed in?
What do you mean?
Isn't there like a group that control the Suicide Squad?
I don't know.
Because I remember them talking in the Suicide Squad. Did you watch Suicide Squad, the movie?
Yeah.
The
Will Smith one? Or the new one?
Yeah, the Will Smith one.
Yeah, I saw the Will Smith one. I actually like that movie.
You remember, like, they were under the control of that woman. And she,
Viola Davis. Yeah, fuck.
She was, I think her name, she played Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
Because Amanda Waller's in the show.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, but there's like, she's part of a group. I don't remember what that group is called.
I don't know. I don't know if they went into it because I think Waller in there is just like a CIA like government agent.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe not even CIA, just a government agent.
I'm fairly certain she's part of a group in the Arrow, like Green Arrow show, and like eventually after he gets off of that island, they get him and they kind of just have him start doing shit for them.
That's dope, actually. I don't know. They might have mentioned it because there's a post credit scene where
she's talking to Batman, isn't she?
Yeah, and then there's like a stamp on it that has like some kind of writing, but I forget what it is. Let me see if I can look it up. What is it?
We're
Agent.
So far, this started off with Star Wars, and now we're on fucking DC.
I know. Agent Waller, Suicide Squad. Argus? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Argus. So. Okay. Yeah. So maybe they did put it. Maybe it's got to be on there. Yeah, I thought that was Trump, bro. Sorry, lady. But what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. Oh, the new one, the new Suicide Squad. That shit is so funny because it's like the guy who directed it, also James Gunn. He directed all 3 of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and so it's real funny because it's like far out, but it's like hilarious, right? Like there's a point where they're like, it's like towards the end, and they're like, there's like an agent that's always supposed to be attached to them, right? Because it's like a similar thing. It's like, I think it's Waller. I think the lady Viola Davis plays Waller too in this new one, and she shows up, and it's the same actress, and like she shows up, and she's like, getting the whole team together, everything, and then they attach an agent to them, and the agent goes like with them everywhere, and they're supposed to break into like this high security, top secret, place, and the agent's with them the whole time, like literally from like the middle of the movie to the end of the movie, the agent's with him, and then he gets shot in the head, and like this guy who's he's like the polka dot man. Right, and his whole thing, he's just dressed up in polka dots, right? So everyone thinks he's a little creepy, right? And he's played by he's played by a guy that plays creepy people. You know what I mean? So he has like he's like real dainty, he's like, he's always laughing a little bit, right? He's just a weird looking guy. And then like he's like all sad, he's like, they got Steven. And everyone's like, who? Who's Steven? They're like, he's like, Steven, like the guy that's been with us the whole time, like Steven got shot. Like, we don't know who Steven. He's like, what? He's like, he like gets upset, and they have like this fight. It's kind of funny. Like, it's real awkward. But I don't know. I like the new one. And then Pete Davidson gets his face shot off, like literally like shot. It's nuts, bro. I recommend the new Suicide Squad. HBO Max, go watch it. Idris Elba's great in it. The whole thing is awesome. But how do we end up talking about this, by the way? Because Disney did to Star Wars what Warner Brothers did to things. But you know what it is? It's actually it's the same. You ever notice it's the same like MO? Like if you're taking the last 3 Star Wars episodes, right? Like the last 3 movies, and you compare them to like all of the Star Wars shows that have come out, the shows are a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the exception, there's one movie that is the exception to the rule. Rogue One. Rogue One was a really good one. I can't get over how good a movie that was. It came out 2016. Everyone's like, man, Rogue One is really good. I never watched it because I didn't have Disney Plus and I didn't see it like in the movie theater. I literally watched it. Fantastic. I mean, it was true. Like, it's like seconds after that movie ends, A New Hope picks up, and like my mind was blown by that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I didn't mind Rogue One. It was a good movie.
Yeah,
it's like, but I don't know. Star Wars fans are just kind of weird because they were kind of like content with Rogue One, but then like Solo dropped and they were like, "This movie sucks." I'm like, have you seen Episode 8?
Yeah,
really?
I like Solo though.
I didn't mind Solo.
I mean, did we see it together?
I don't know.
Because I either went with you or went with Wayne, with my bro, one of those two. But I either way, I liked it because I think I did with Wayne because we were talking about Darth Maul and shit and how he popped up. But I don't know. But we saw me, you, and Justin saw all the Star Wars together.
Yeah, all
the new ones. I don't really remember you being upset. Like immediately afterwards, it's always a slow burn with the upsetness.
When I watch the movies, I'm just like annoyed. Like it's just like when I went to go see the last Resident Evil movie that came out in the theaters. I think it's Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy the movies while I'm there, but then like
what you think about them?
I start to like really look at, and it doesn't always take like one watch through. Like Welcome to Raccoon City, I'm upset with that movie.
Right.
But I bought that shit.
You watched it
I've
again?
watched that shit a few times.
Yeah.
It's not a horrible movie to watch through. It's just not what I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference between like I don't know. That's how I feel with most movies. I will watch pretty much any movie.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me pause it right there. I will watch any movie that I want to watch.
Yeah.
And whether or not I enjoy it doesn't matter through when I'm watching it the first time. It's really when I watch it for a second time that I will like nitpick the things that I do not like seeing. Even when I watch it the first time, like Welcome to Raccoon City had a lot of like cool Easter eggs from the games,
right, yeah.
and as soon as they would like change stuff, and you can ask Kez and Ashley because that's who I went to go fucking see.
Yeah.
I was just like sitting in the chair, like
just amazing. These motherfuckers, bro.
I'm pretty sure I did the same thing when we went to go see, what was it, Episode 8 for Star Wars, and then...
Did you get upset?
And then, yeah, I think I can remember the specific part that I got upset was when we watched them blow up the cockpit for the ship, and then fucking Leia just, like, raises her arm and flies to the fucking ship, flies back into the ship using the Force.
Oh, yeah.
I was just staring at the screen like...
Yeah. Like, come on, dog.
What the fuck did I just watch? What the?
Or you know what that was for me when they're in the last one, right? In the Rise of the Skywalker, when they have like a ship taking off, and Rey stops it with the Force. And she's like trying to hold it, and or no, maybe it's like I think it was what the fuck is the other guy's name? Kylo Ren. When Kylo Ren I think he has like, is it Chewbacca's in a ship or something like that?
Maybe.
And then he's trying to like stop it, and she's trying to let it go, and they're fighting. There's like a little force battle, right? And then the fucking electricity flies out of her arms. It's like, and then it hits it, and then it blows up. I was like. I was like, what are we doing right now? I'm like, is this what we're doing? This is we're just trying to the last
kill off all of the original characters.
Yeah, and then replace them all with like good versions of themselves. Like the Skywalkers are evil now for some reason. Like, I guess the original Skywalker, the original Skywalker was evil too, but I don't know. Isn't Kylo Ren the last Skywalker? Because his mom is...
I think technically, yes.
Like through the bloodline, like not through name, because his name is what, Ben Solo, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird because, like, obviously the stuff that's canon is like separate, but I don't understand how the canon and the legends work for Star Wars, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've seen some of this, like, once in a while I'll go on like YouTube and just look at random videos of people explaining like different situations that happened in the Legends version of Star Wars, like after or during the Civil War.
Yeah.
I've seen like some really interesting shit on some of those side events. Like there's stuff about Death Troopers, and I don't know if they'll ever get. I don't know if what I saw, like the video that I saw, will ever show up on the big screen unless they really feel like doing like a zombie related Star Wars thing. But that shit was sick. When I was watching this dude, like he does like little animations, so it is pretty cool. But like some of the stuff that happens in Legends is just dope. I don't know. I'm assuming that because the last 3 Star Wars movies like came out, like they are canon, which is upsetting.
Yeah, because now like
I don't know what the fuck happens after Episode 9. I don't even know if it's worth knowing what happens after Episode 9.
Yeah, just the world kept on going. That's all that happens. Yeah, the weird thing to me was that they essentially tried to make the entire, like, they just remade episodes 4, 5, and 6 in one movie, which was Rise of the Skywalker. Like that was kind of upsetting because literally the Empire came back and then was thwarted in a movie. Like, come on, dog. Like that should have been a much slower burn. I feel like you should
building like something in the background to like build up to that moment, because
literally it just came out of nowhere.
The Legends version of everything that happened in the Star Wars movies is like, so we don't know obviously until it's explained to us throughout the 9th movie that like Emperor Palpatine was just building up ships in this area of the galaxy that's not accessible.
Yeah.
Like, and he had been doing that, I think, since like they formed the Empire.
Yeah.
So like none of that is shown throughout any of the movies. Like none of that is led up. Like you don't know any of that's going on. You don't even know that fucking Palpatine's still alive.
Yeah.
And then he just shows up in the last movie and he's like, "Hey guys, I still suck."
Yeah, and he's like, I'm still so powerful. I'm like,
like, I can be the most powerful Sith, but I mean, a bunch of fucking random ships just show up in the sky and start fucking breaking through my Star Destroyers.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, he has like a whole fleet, but like nobody's in the fleet to like stop shit from going down.
There's a fuck ton of ships that have no shields on for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was explained.
Who knows? But you know what it was, though? You know what was weird, too? Was like, there was a point in The Rise of the Skywalker where he comes back. Like, remember, he takes all of her energy, or he takes all of, like, her shit, right? Like, he takes Rey's, her energy, pretty much, right? And, like, sucks her dry. And then he turns around, and for some reason, there's, like, a whole coliseum of, like, Sith that's there. And they're like, yeah, they're like cheering him on. I'm like, why are none of you guys in the fucking ships? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, you guys all were just here this whole time waiting for this to happen. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, the Empire, like for us, the Empire has always been like this organized like thing, and it's like, you know, you need organization. We bring order and all that stuff. For an entire empire that like prides itself on order, that was fucked. You know what I mean? Like that would be like, actually that already happened. Like during Pearl Harbor, I would just say that would be like if the U.S. military like had all their shit there and nobody was in it, and that's exactly what happened with Pearl Harbor. So I guess you're entitled to one slip up, but you're like, I don't know. It was weird. I thought it was a bit rushed. Like they were just trying to get it out, but. Who knows?
Like I said, I didn't expect much from the 9th movie. After watching the 8th movie, My expectations for the 9th just
Which one was the 8th
that
movie?
Dove. That was the one that fucking, what's his name? Ryan Johnson fucking
Jedi.
directed.
Oy. Which one? Which one was this? What was this about? Oh, this is when she goes to find Luke.
That's the one where she found Luke. And she was like kind of training with him, but then she kind of got like sick halfway through of it. She was like, fuck you, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Is that about it on the Star Wars thing?
I think so.
Actually, let's transition to something else Star Wars. Is Vader the best villain in movies?
I don't know what best. I don't know what you'd consider. Like, I don't know what people, like most people's consideration of best is. Yeah. Like, what do you have to be, or what do you have to do to be the best villain?
I don't know.
In a show.
I guess if we're going by like for me, I would say like, is he one of the best written ones? Probably. Like he's probably one of the best like in terms of like a bunch of writers sitting down, hanging out and writing something. I think he's probably one of the best written ones because his arc, and also too, it's like he's only limited in power by the time period that George Lucas wanted to make Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think people are like, I've seen people get like upset. They're like, oh, they made Vader too powerful. They're like, no, Vader's always been powerful, but they haven't been able to like make him as like, you know what I mean? Like they haven't had the CGI, the technology to make him look as powerful as he truly is. Because Anakin was one of the most powerful Jedi. You know, like he was the chosen one. He was more in touch with the Force than like Yoda was. So Vader's always been that powerful, and I think that it was just limited by, again, they decided to make the movies in the 70s. Do you ever see like how when they're shooting, like the green things are just like see through? They look like a light just drag through like this.
Well, I mean, it's like yeah, there were a lot of limitations for that.
For the tech, yeah.
So they couldn't necessarily make Darth Vader too powerful because they were, like you said, limited by like CGI and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's like the first couple of minutes that you see him in episode 4, like was he actually choking somebody? I don't remember now that I'm thinking about it.
No, he was screwing people up in there. Like I'm trying to think. No, because he would like force somebody and then they would just fall down, like they like hit their head on the ground or some shit like that. So it's like they couldn't really, like I think he did choke somebody.
I thought he just choked I swear he was just choking somebody out. Like he wasn't even force choking anybody. If I'm remembering right, I'm fairly certain that when they're on the fucking rebel ship at the beginning of episode 4 and they've captured it and everything, and he's like interrogating the prisoners just like right there in the middle of the ship, I'm fairly certain he just fucking choked somebody out with his actual hand instead of force choking him. I don't remember. But I mean, like, obviously, if that did happen, like, you should know right off the bat, like, okay, the CGI is pretty limited for like the first couple of episodes.
Yeah, like he has to physically put his hands on you to choke you. CGI is not great. And then you go to like now, like in the Obi-Wan series, I mean, the dude's lifting people up into the air and just choking them. So, to me, I don't know. I don't think he's too overpowered. I think, he was just limited. Like if Infinity War or Endgame came out in like 2000, it'd be butt. Because like the CGI just isn't great.
The thing for me is that, like, from my understanding, because again, I do read a little bit into like stuff that isn't canon for Star Wars, because some of the stuff in Legends is like sick, like the Death Trooper thing for Legends, like that whole, I think it was like a book or like a graphic novel. That whole thing was sick.
Yeah,
like
that is kind of cool.
That shit was sick to me. But I also am biased because I like zombies, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you do the zombies wrong, that's
I'll still watch the movie. I'll just fucking
hate it.
I'll just develop a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, it's like
I'll take the good away from it, and I'll just be like, yeah, fuck you.
What was the one that Batista was in?
Oh, Army of the Dead.
Yeah, that was good. I actually like that one. I thought that was good. That was Zack Snyder did that one.
It was a good movie, but I just wish like they hadn't set it up at the end to make like a sequel. Like I just feel like that movie could have been like a one and done thing, and then it would have been completely fine with me. But I know. Most movies now, they might. It depends on how much success the first one got, but I don't know. But
at least they're on Netflix. Like Netflix lost subscribers for the first time in like 20 years
because they just do dumb shit.
Yeah, they
now they're gonna make it so that like you can't fucking use or people can't use your Netflix if you're not in the same address as your original account holder or whatever.
That's so dumb. Yeah,
they're gonna put like I thought I saw something about like possibly putting ads into videos. I'm like, guys, if you put ads into fucking videos, it's not going to make me sit there and wait for the ad to finish. It's going to make me say, fuck this streaming service. I got to do something other than this. Like, the whole fucking reason for me to pay for like Netflix or Hulu, because Hulu and Netflix are pretty much what I pay for. Like, I told you, I don't fucking care for Disney. The only reason I watched Obi-Wan is because my brother has Disney, so he gave me that. I watched Obi-Wan, and I haven't watched anything else on Disney+.
Oh, Obi-Wan was good, though.
But I'm like, the whole reason I bought Hulu and Netflix is so that I didn't have fucking commercials. I don't like TV because of commercials.
Yeah.
I don't pay for cable because of commercials.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Netflix is ridiculous, but
going back to the villain thing.
Yeah.
Technically, if I'm thinking correctly, like Vader, even as he's shown off now, like he's powerful. Like Obi-Wan kind of like showed off. Rogue One also showed off.
Yeah.
Every time Darth Vader gets shown off in most movies and shows, like you do see like how powerful he is.
He's the biggest bad.
But like you have to realize that, at least if I'm remembering correctly, Darth Vader right now, this version of Darth Vader, because like of everything that happened, so he doesn't have any physical, like both of his arms I'm pretty sure got cut off, both of his legs got cut off. Mm-hmm. So it's really just like his torso and his head that are actually him inside of the suit. Like he's got robot legs, he's got robot arms.
Yeah.
He's technically not as powerful as he could have been if he wasn't put into this like power suit, more or less.
Yeah.
Because he needs the suit to survive.
Yeah. And it was also like,
but I'm fairly certain that I read something that said like it was also like when his suit was being made, like Palpatine did stuff to it to like further limit Darth Vader's power.
Like it's uncomfortable, it's all leather, it's hard to move, it's all heavy and shit.
Yeah, so his power was already limited to begin with because he got fucked up by Obi-Wan during Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So now when he gets like a body that's supposed to help him, it still limits his power.
Yeah, because Palpatine's like, this motherfucker's too powerful.
Yeah, like Palpatine doesn't, like he knows he can't really take Darth Vader on if like Vader decides, because doesn't Vader kill him? He eventually does betray him, but like Darth Vader also dies because of it, because Sidious is just shocking Luke, and Darth Vader's just like,
no, he just picks him up.
Fucking throws him into the abyss. And of course, in Star Wars, if you fall into a fucking abyss, you're not dead. You're just gone for a little bit.
Unless you're like Darth Maul, where you get cut in half and they see you separate inside.
He came back.
Did he come back?
Oh,
the
Solo? First episode? No, he comes back during the animated Clone Wars series.
Oh, that's right. Because doesn't his mom save him? His mom is like a witch or some shit, isn't
I don't even remember how he gets saved. I remember them finding him, and all he was at that time was just like something with like spider legs.
Yeah, his Wayne was telling me his mom saved him.
I think it was Ventress. I don't know if you met Ventress.
I haven't watched the Clone Wars.
Oh, okay, so you don't know.
But my brother tells me that his mom was like a witch and saved him.
Yeah, the Clone Wars series is interesting. It does set up everything that happens. Like, so like a lot of people were hoping that they do the Siege of Mandalore, and they didn't do anything with that until they brought the Clone Wars back for the final season.
Yeah.
The whole final season for the Clone Wars is just, I don't remember because I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, I've never seen Clone Wars, so
well,
we're just flying blind.
The rest of the Clone Wars series is like none of it is in order. All of the episodes are just scattered events that take place during the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
like there is a way that you can watch it so that you're watching everything in order of how it's supposed to happen.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like watching all the fucking Avengers movies. Like, you have to go to this movie, and then you go to that movie, and then you go back to the Avengers movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you're supposed to start with, like, what was it? Captain America, because that's technically the first movie, because it's the first Avenger.
Yeah, like, in the actual timeline in that universe.
That's how the Clone Wars series is.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of done.
Right.
But you don't have to watch it in order.
You could just let it ride.
Yeah, you can just watch it like I did from start to finish and just say fuck it.
Bro, that shit is I was looking at it like I haven't watched Clone Wars because I was like, oh, I was like, Wayne likes it, might as well check it out. Me and Victoria are watching, we're like on a little Star Wars kick. Season 1, 22 episodes. Season 2, 22. I'm like,
22 episodes, but it's like it's not like episodes now that are like 40 minutes to an hour long. Like those are just 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, so okay, so it's not bad. So you can knock 2 episodes out. So it's like watching
I
like
can knock a whole fucking season out in like one day.
Yeah,
I can probably knock 2 seasons out in one day. To be honest with you, depends on how many hours I'm willing to sit down and watch.
Yeah, I would just lay down in bed and watch it. That's just like what I do. But then my neck hurts, bro, because I lay on my side, right? So I'm laying like this, and then I'm like, damn, I can't see anything. So I like put a pillow here, and then I'm like this. And I'm like laying down. I'm like, damn, son. And then I wake up and I'm like, fuck, my neck hurts. I wonder why. I must have slept wrong. And like, no, you fucking try to watch Clone Wars with like 20 pillows stuck right here with your fucking neck sideways. But I don't know. I want to watch Clone Wars though, because like I've heard it's amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you like the Bad Batch thing, you're gonna like the Clone Wars.
I didn't watch the Bad Batch either.
Oh well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
No, but I've heard. I mean, look, I watch all the Marvel stuff because I'm watching it as it comes out, right? And that's about it. But like, if I just started watching Marvel stuff now, I'd be fucked because I would not finish it all. I would not have finished. Like, I'd probably finish Loki because that's a good series. I'd probably finish WandaVision, but I'd just get lost in the sauce. Like, I'd be like, yeah, I'm supposed to watch it, but I don't know. I just let the movies catch me up. But I do want to see Thor and Love and Thunder. That looks good.
Yeah.
That looks funny.
I didn't really watch any of the Thor movies, so I don't like the only Thor movie that I watched from start to finish was Ragnarok.
Yeah, the other ones are a waste of time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
For the first Thor and what is it, Thor: The Dark World or some shit like that.
Thor: The Dark World sucked. Like it was so bad. Like people say they're like, oh, Eternals is like it's not a great movie. It's like as it stands right now, right? Like think about it. The first 4 Marvel movies were Iron Man 2, bangers. Those were good. Right? The first and second Iron Man was good. Then it was like the first Thor, and the first Thor was like, it's like the fuck. They had this dude that shoots a laser out of his face. You know what I mean? And then they have, then they did Captain America, and that was good. And then the first Avengers, which was pretty good, right? But Thor is always the one that, like, whenever Thor comes out, they're like, this movie's gonna be shit, right? So it's like, right now they've had a couple bangers come out, and it's been pretty good, but it's mostly been shows. But they started off hot. Like, they started off with, what was the first, like, is Eternals the first one of this phase?
Was that a show? I thought that was a movie.
No, I'm saying, like, I'm talking about movie.
Oh, I have no idea.
Hold up, let me consult Disney Plus. The first, I'm trying to think, Marvel Phase 4. The first movie, Why do I'm always doing this on my phone when I have my laptop open. So let me go Marvel Phase 4. Yes, motherfucker. All right. So we got so it was Black Widow. That was 2021. That was kind of Shang-Chi. I like Shang-Chi a lot. Shang-Chi was good. Eternals. Spider-Man No Way Home. Orgasmic. Multiverse of Madness. Did you see it? Orgasmic. So like you've had two like meh movies, which I would say Black Widow and Eternals. Shang-Chi slapped, and then you've had two like Shang-Chi was better than average, and then you've had two slappers so far, which has been Spider-Man, No Way Home, and Multiverse of Madness, right? And then I think like I'm already eyeing it up, and I'm looking at some of these ones already. Like in terms of movies, Thor: Love and Thunder, I think that's going to be good. They have Gore the God Butcher, right? So that one's going to be pretty good. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Since my man passed away, that'll be kind of I don't know. I have to see how they do it. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Blade, like all these different things coming up. So it's about on track with what the first thing was, which is two good movies, two sort of mid movies, and then like a slapper. No, yeah, I would say two slappers, two sort of mid movies, and then one that was like just above average. That's about how the MCU started anyway. So I think it's about on track. Like you can't have like, and you always have to look at the last four. Like those are the ones that they usually get. So it's in the last four, and this one are Blade. No, it's Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Blade, Quantumania, and Fantastic Four. So I'm excited. I'm big excited. But I think, you know what it is though? I think Marvel will start to lose people. But this is kind of like the thing that I worried about with like, even with like like you're talking about Star Wars and like reading the non-canon stuff. Like I was kind of worried that like Marvel would lose, they would lose like just regular viewers, right? Because like I'm just gonna watch Marvel stuff because I like all the Marvel stuff anyway, so I'm just gonna watch it regardless. But I feel like they're gonna lose like just like the regular average like moviegoer that wants to see an action movie with all this like universe shit, with all this like.
Once they get a little, I would assume like they're probably starting to lose off a little bit of that magic now, because like a lot of the original like heroes that we were kind of on board with are kind of going. Like Iron Man's not there. Yeah. Captain America's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, Black Widow's not there.
Yeah, she did.
Not that I really.
Not really watched Black Widow, but the original team's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
With the exception of
like Vision's dead.
Doctor Strange.
Because
I mean, I don't know if he was one of the original Avengers, but it's like Thor,
I mean, yeah,
Hulk, and Doctor Strange are like
Hulk
the only guys that are left.
I don't even know if the Hulk is the Hulk anymore.
No, he's the Hulk. He's Professor Hulk.
Okay,
So he's smart.
He's basically just not the Hulk anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think they're doing a good job in because you can't introduce all these different things at once, because then it's going to be. That was your knuckle?
My thumb.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought that was like your middle finger. I was like, do you need to go to a hospital? But I think they're doing a good job introducing like the new characters that are going to be in it. Like Miss Marvel is pretty good. Hawkeye was good with Haley Steinfeld, and then She-Hulk is going to be good. Moon Knight was amazing. Like Moon Knight was one of those ones that was like, because it's Oscar Isaac, right? And he's not only is he a great actor, but Moon Knight is such a polarizing character, right? So I think that Moon Knight, and also I think too what they're going into is like the supernatural stuff. So like if they don't hit with like the quantum time travel situation, they're gonna probably hit with the supernatural stuff, like with angels and demons and shit like that, which is what Blade was. Which is like, did you see Eternals? So the post credit scene of Eternals, the guy that played Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, he plays like the guy that's gonna eventually be Black Knight, and his sword, like, he gets a sword, the Black Knight's sword, from his grandfather, or no, his uncle, and he opens it up, and in like, I think it's Latin, it says "Death is my reward," and that's like his whole thing is like the sword. Like, if when you kill somebody with it, the sword gets more powerful. So they're going that direction, and they're like going to what's called like Midnight Suns, which is like Ghost Rider and Blade, Moon Knight, all these different guys. They kind of form an Avengers against like the supernatural forces of Marvel. So I think if anything, they'll probably hit on that too, because that is like, I don't know, I actually kind of like stuff like that. Like, I think that stuff is kind of cool. And Multiverse of Madness being like the first, I guess, quote unquote horror movie of the Marvel MCU. I don't know. I think that's probably what they're going to hit on more so, and then people are going to like that, and then they're counting on people sort of clinching to that, and then being like, "Oh, I actually like these other people that were in there too," and linking those together. I mean, at least that's my suspicion.
I don't know. If I had to take a guess, I mean, I'd say that people are kind of probably going to start to fizzle out, because, like,
yeah, it's inevitable.
It's not even like, at this point for me, it's not even whether or not I think the new movies coming out now are like good or bad. I think it's more of like, I'm just kind of over it. Like,
yeah, you just don't. You're like,
I got through the Avengers phase, and then, you know, I watched pretty much everything up until aside from like Captain Marvel, which I didn't bother watching.
It was mid.
The first two Thor movies, like I said, I didn't bother watching. I didn't really care too much for the first two Iron Man movies either.
Do you like the first Iron Man?
I didn't. I think for me is that, like, the Iron Man movies had nothing, like, ultimately no impact on everything overall.
No. Nothing.
So like most of that stuff was just kind of like, he got into those situations because he's an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, in the first one, yeah.
The first movie technically wasn't his fault.
But I think in the second and third movies, they made him kind of a prick.
Yeah. Like, the second and third movies, like, everything that happens to him in those two movies,
yeah,
is pretty much because of him.
Yeah, that's why, like, I like the first Iron Man, because it was like, oh, it was, I'm a rich guy, I don't have a whole lot of morals, and then, oh shit, I got kidnapped, showcasing my guns, and then now I got to get out, and I'm super smart. Like, it forced him to be multidimensional, forced him to be like dynamic. But then the other ones, they just made him a dickhead, and then he just got in these problems because he's a dickhead. Like, I don't know, that I didn't necessarily like the third Iron Man, and the second one was kind of meh for me too. But the first one to me was probably the best one, in my opinion, because if you look at how everyone else wrote him, right, like, or how the other people directed him on how to play, he was more the grounded, down to earth, like, or as far as Tony Stark can be, he was more grounded and more down to earth than he was in like the third movie.
Yeah.
Because after the third movie, he'd be like, they mellowed him out a little bit because he was a real asshole in the third movie.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I said, I didn't mind them. Once we got past Avengers Endgame, like, I did watch, I think Ant-Man, the first Ant-Man, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Those were good.
Yeah, those were good, yeah.
But like I said, once we got past Avengers Endgame, I was like, okay, like, I'm content with the story ending there. For me,
I
was like content with it ending there. I wasn't overly excited because of everything that happened, but
yeah. But it was a good ending, though.
Yeah, like, it was a good movie. It was like I said, I feel like Endgame for me kind of like set it. Like, I was fine with everything ending right there, how it ended. But I also knew that it wasn't going to end there because there's so much in the Marvel universe you can take from and bring to the MCU.
And even because like they didn't even have full control of all their properties.
Not bad. Not when they first started doing this whole like big setup for the Avengers.
Like it was all like Reed Richards like from the Captain America.
They still don't fully have like some stuff they don't have the rights to. Like obviously Spider-Man, Sony's still kind of like hanging on to.
Oh man,
by
a thread
their
though.
Teeth. I mean, like it's at this point, like if they fuck up any other movies, I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, because Spider-Man they're just holding on to Spider-Man the thing was they had to go to Marvel to further Spider-Man's like storyline. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like how many times do you make like there's already been like there was the initial like Sam Raimi Spider-Mans with my man Tobey Maguire, and those were good. Like those are really good. I enjoyed those a lot. Actually, those are the only ones that I bought. Like I bought that trilogy on like Amazon Prime, so I like those a lot. But what they did, like the first and second movies were amazing, but they just tried to they tried to introduce too much in the third movie because there's already so much hype, and then they fell into it again when they did the Andrew Garfield and Spider-Mans, because they were like, oh shit, like they tried to do too much again. So they had to go to Marvel and say, hey, why don't we make him part of the Avengers? Well, she already was, right? And expand it a little bit more because they didn't want it to become like a Batman thing where we're just going to keep making Batman with the same characters, the same good guy, the same bad guy, the same this, the same that. It just gets like you just rinse and repeat, right? So I thought it was cool that they went to Marvel to try and further this.
Yeah, I don't know. Spider-Man is another one of them things where it took me a while to watch the first Spider-Man movie, and when I say the first Spider-Man movie, I don't mean the one with Tobey Maguire. I mean the first Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. Yeah, like it came out, and then I didn't watch it for probably about a year after it came out.
Yeah, same thing.
And I still haven't watched the second or third movie because just not like I know they're.
You ever watch No Way Home? That one is fucking good. It's actually good. Yeah.
I just wasn't like I don't necessarily care about Spider-Man. I don't think like it has nothing to do with my hatred for Disney.
Yeah.
I just don't really ultimately care because like Venom's
good, yeah.
I saw Venom and I saw the second Venom. What was the second?
Let There Be Carnage? Yeah. That was a good one too. I like that one a lot.
I like both of the movies. So when I heard that they actually brought him in for was it No Way Home or is it what's the last one?
Which one?
Is it No Way Home Spider-Man?
Yeah, that's the third one, yeah.
That's the third one. Okay. What was the second one?
No Way Home, Far From Home.
Far From Home. Okay.
Yeah, it's all home. It's Homecoming was the first one, then it was Far From Home, and now it's No Way Home.
Yeah, so I mean, I was kind of excited when they said they were going to bring Venom into this third Spider-Man movie, but like I said, I didn't watch it, so I don't know exactly how he comes into the fold.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I don't know. I probably won't. I will eventually watch Spider-Man. But aside from that, I'm probably not going to watch any other Marvel-related movies. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't... I actually, I like Spider-Man. I just wish it was more accessible. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like at least with like most Marvel stuff, you can watch it on Disney Plus if you so desire. But like for the Spider-Mans, you got to buy the fucking Spider-Mans. Like you got to buy them, or you got to wait till like he comes out on Amazon, and then you got to like I don't know. It's just a pain in the ass. But are we good with this topic? Are we done with this? Because we have two.
We haven't been talking about Darth Vader for a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Darth Vader in a while. But the reason I brought up Marvel was because, to me, I think that Thanos is one of the best, like, written characters as well. Because if you switched it, if George Lucas was born in like 1970, right, instead of whenever year he was born, and he was making the Star Wars movies now, right? Then they'd probably be like, I mean, they live on in infamy, right? Like 4, 5, and 6 probably will. But if Marvel was made back in the day, it'd be so shitty because like the CGI just wouldn't be on par, and you'd have like this big. They could probably have a dude in a big fucking suit, and he's walking around like, oh, you know, I'm Thanos. You know what I mean? And it would just look cheesy.
Well, so that's the thing too, is that like, I don't know, too much CGI isn't always a good thing either.
No,
because like if you look at like the original trilogy, or not the original trilogy for Star Wars, the prequels, so 1, 2, and 3.
Oh yeah,
like a lot of that was just straight up CGI. Like,
yeah,
like
they weren't that good at it yet.
I'm to this day kind of still shocked that they did not make any clone, like all of the clones that you see in 1, 2, and 3. Well, you don't see any clones in the first movie.
Yeah.
All of the droids, like all of that is CGI. Like they didn't make any suits, like any of the clone armor for for 2 and 3.
So what do they wear?
It's just CGI. All of the clones are CGI.
Damn, man.
All of them.
What about the droids and shit too? Are they all CGI?
I'm pretty sure that all of the droids are also CGI.
That's sick.
So like none of it was like practical effects. Like to me, I just feel like even when you're watching the Obi-Wan series,
yeah,
you can tell that the clones aren't all CGI. Like you can tell they actually made clone trooper outfits and they were going, because you see the clones a little bit when you're seeing Order 66.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was the one. Remember when what's her name? Third sister. When she kidnaps Leia. When he goes to find him, remember that guy is on the ground and he's like begging for money. The droid.
Oh yeah.
Not the droid. The clone.
I think so.
Yeah, because he's actually holding a helmet. So he's physically holding like a thing helmet. It's not like a CGI helmet. So. You could tell that they made it. Like, that was all made for him. And the guy that actually plays him, I mean, Boba Fett is pretty much a clone anyway, but, like, that dude also wears his real stuff in Boba Fett, too. Because he actually has it. So, I don't know. I like, fuck, man. I don't know who, I'm trying to think of who the best villain is. Like, I think you can make an argument for, have you seen, like, Inglourious Bastards?
No.
It's with like Brad Pitt.
I don't think I ever watched that, to be honest.
So I think again the writing, the two best villains to me. Well, there's 4, right? There's Vader, there's my man Thanos, and then the other 2 are actually from Quentin Tarantino. So it's Calvin Candy, who's like a slave owner in Django Unchained, and then there's Hans Landa, who was like a SS, Gestapo. How the fuck do you say that?
Gestapo.
Gestapo. There it is. I keep saying I keep fucking it up, right? So who's like a SS officer, right? And his job is to hunt down and find Jews, and in the Inglourious Bastards, which is set during World War II, and those are the cruelest motherfuckers I think I've ever seen on camera. Right, like Calvin Candy, who's played by Leonardo DiCaprio, calls literally. I mean, he really calls him that, not like edited in nothing. Right, he calls Jamie Foxx the N-word to his face, bro.
I just I know that they're acting, but like, could you imagine having to do that, like on set, in front of like people, like in front, like that shit would just be weird to me to be able to do that nonchalantly. And again, like I said, I know they're acting like like you have to have like a certain level where you're like, okay, well, he's only saying that because of the role that he's playing. Like, like he's doing it, and that's weird too. Like, obviously it took you a little while to watch Game of Thrones, and I never fully watched Game of Thrones because I knew what the last season entailed.
Yeah.
So I didn't put myself through that stress.
Yeah. That was shitty.
I know that when when like Game of Thrones was still coming out, like a lot of people were like people were sending the guy that played Joffrey like hate mail and shit like that, and like death threats. I'm like, okay, why though? Like, are you guys dumb? Like,
you think he really did this?
Yeah, like this. He's not like genuinely this character. He's portraying a character. I'm sorry that he's doing a good job of portraying the character, because I fucking hated Joffrey.
No, he was a little
I wanted
prick.
that motherfucker to go right off the first fucking scene I saw him. I was like, kill that motherfucker right now. He's got to go. That's evil.
Yeah. That's an evil motherfucker. You gotta go.
He was a good actor. I don't have anything against him. Mm-hmm. But that character that he portrayed, fuck that. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, dude. No, but that's like, to me, that's like the level of like hatred I have to have for you to be like a villain. Like I hated Joffrey. Like, he was a prick, bro, right? Like, I can't enough. Like, remember dude, the one scene, you know what the one scene that fucked me up was? Like, so first of all, if you guys have never seen Game of Thrones, go watch it. But like, there's essentially it's like the medieval times, and it's like, well, I didn't say medieval because it's not. It's like a fantasy. Like, there's dragons and shit in it, but it's like it takes place, like, the backdrop is medieval knights and stuff like that, but it's like a fantasy. And the family that you sort of are introduced to first are the Starks, right? And they're like he's like the king of the North, right? And then you have all these different cities and all these different like little kingdoms, and they're all under the crown and shit like that. But the North, historically, the North is like where we don't really want to be under our crown. So what happens is the head of this family and the head of the king were like best friends, and then he tries to marry his son to the Stark's daughter, right? And they find out that like he did some shicey shit. He becomes like the hand of the king. Is that what it's called? He becomes the hand in the beginning. What's the guy's the Stark?
Ned.
Ned. He becomes the hand, which is like the right hand man, like the vice president, if you will, of the king. And they accuse him of like treason because the king ends up dying and all these different things. They accuse him of treason, and Joffrey, who becomes king afterwards because he's the oldest, ends up having Ned having his head cut off, right? And then when they cut the heads off, they put him on a stake and they hang him like on the walls to the outside world. And he's married to Ned's daughter. Like, he's married, the guy whose head he just cut off, he's married the daughter of that guy. And he takes her, like, afterwards, like a couple of days later, he's like talking to her. He's like, it's like, whatever, you okay? He takes her and he shows her the head, like of like her dad's head cut off, right? Just to like be a dickhead. And I was like, that guy needs to go. Like, that's like within the first couple episodes of the season of like this, as I want to say second season, and it's brutality, bro, right? And I was like, that motherfucker needs to go. Like, big time, right? But I felt the same way when I was watching Calvin Candy, because there's a part in Django where one of the slaves runs away, right? And they find him, like, he has these groundskeeper, right? And the groundskeeper like can't read, can't write, can't do nothing. He has this big beard, right? And all he does is keep the grounds, right? And they find him, and he's like, this slave is like up in the tree. He's up in this tree hiding from these dogs that found him, right? And they see him on their way back, because I guess they're in like, I want to say they're in like New Orleans or some shit like that, or they're somewhere in Mississippi, right? They're somewhere in the South, and they're going back to Calvin Candy's farm. He calls it Candyland, and he sees the slave that ran away. And then he walks over and he talks to the slave, and he goes, he's just like making fun of him, like being a prick to him, right, and everything. And he's like, listen, he's like, when I pay $300, I expect 3 fights, right? Because he's fighting them, like he's like the Mandingos are fighting them till they kill each other. And he's like breaking it down to him or whatever. And he's like, I expect 3 fights. He's like, you only fought twice. I need you to fight one more time. You can't be running off, right? You get your nerve, you know. Then what am I gonna do? Are you gonna reimburse me $100 for a fight? And he's a slave, so he's like, I don't even know what that is, right? He's like, you know, he goes, do you know the implications of your actions or some shit like that? And he goes, do you know what that means? Like, just making fun of him in front of all of his boys. And the good guy stands up and goes, hey, like, I'll reimburse you your money, just let him live, right? And then Jamie Foxx, who plays Django, is like, nah, we're not paying you. He said, we're not paying you for that pickaninny, right? And then he looks at him in the eyes and sicks the dogs onto the slave, and the dogs tear him up. And that was like, I was like, yo, that motherfucker's got to go, because he's just ruthless. He's just ruthless. Like, he talks to him so chill, but then he just like is able to do this brutality to him. It's nuts. And then Inglourious Bastards. It's actually funny because the guy who plays the doctor, the good guy in Django, plays the SS guy in Inglourious Bastards. And there's like they're hiding a family in the floorboards, right? And he goes out and he's like creepily, like, this guy has like a bunch of daughters, and he's like creepily like staring at the daughter, like he's staring at them like he's giving them, like, he has like a pipe, right? And he's giving him like an up and down. He's like looking at him. He's like looking him down and looking him up, and like he's doing this like weird shit. And the daughters are like uncomfortable. They're like, and he like touches one of them. Like, he's just being a super creep, bro. Right. And then he goes, kick your daughters out. We got to talk in English, right? Because they're talking in French, and the Jews that live below them speak French. So he's like, we got to talk in English, because if they're here, you know, whatever. So he essentially is talking to this guy. He's playing with him. And then he finds out that he's hiding these Jews in the floorboards. And because he gets so serious, he's like talking to him. He's like, oh, you know, you got a family, you got a wife. And then he goes, you're hiding Jews in your floorboards? He's like, what? He's like, you're hiding them on your floorboards right now. You're hiding Jews in your floorboards? And the guy's like, yeah. He just breaks. And then he's like, you're going to point to me where you're keeping them in the floorboards. And he just points over there, like in the thing. In like the top room, he goes, oh, they're over there. And he's like, he's like, I'm going to switch back to French now, play along, and you'll be off the list, right? Because they have like a list of people they're going to take to the camps. And he goes outside and he pretends to call back in the daughters. And it's really his guys, and they shoot through the floorboards, and they're killing all these Jews that are in there. And then the one takes off, like she escapes, and she's like all full of blood and shit. She takes off, and he says to her, I'll see you soon, like in Spain. Like he says au revoir, which is like, I'll see you soon in French. And then they actually meet up later on in the movie. And there's like a debate online, like as to whether or not he recognizes who she is, right? Because he's like super friendly to her, right? But he just kind of like has this look of like I don't know who you are. Uh-huh. Like I know what the situation's like. It's kind of crazy. But to me though, like, I don't know, those two guys, like if you ever have a chance to watch those two guys, I think Django's on Netflix. I don't know about Inglourious Bastards. It kind of floats around, but those movies are ridiculous.
I don't know. It's weird. The only reason I'm saying, like, I don't know what makes a good villain is because, like, I think everybody has their own, like, what would make a good villain.
Yeah.
Like, the way you're describing it, like, yeah, those, I mean, like, Vader, Thanos, the two guys that you just described, like,
yeah.
Crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I don't really know what, in my own opinion, would make a good villain. Like, obviously I have like good villains, or like people that I think are good villains.
Yeah.
But like, off the top of my head, I don't know. Like the biggest one I can think of is like, I don't know. You haven't played Far Cry before, right?
No, I never played it.
So like Far Cry usually has like a good running of like having villains that are like good.
Yeah.
So like the villain in 3 is like widely regarded as probably one of the best villains, one of the best like main bad guys that you go up against. I didn't really care too much for Far Cry 3. Like Far Cry 4 was more my thing. Uh-huh. The guy in Far Cry 4, that dude is epic. Epic. I think he's probably one of the only villains that, like, I'm fine with not killing.
Yeah.
I'm, like, perfectly content. So
Was he that dude that had, like, was Far Cry 5 take place in the States?
Far Cry 4.
Or Far Cry 4?
Far Cry 5 did take place in the States. Far Cry 4 takes place, like, somewhere around India.
Oh, okay. Because I know there's, like, a white dude that they...
Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
That guy, I don't know. I don't know if people... I think Vinny said he was, like, a good villain.
Yeah. And then I know what's the most recent one?
6.
And that's the one with, like, the guy that played Gideon Moth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and he always has a kid with him. I was like, ew, that's creepy. For some reason. You ever see that?
The guy in 6, in Far Cry 6, that's his kid.
Oh, okay. Right. See, that makes sense, right? That makes sense.
What's fucked up is that I'm fairly certain that at the end of the game, he kills his kid.
That's insane, bro. Like, who... that might take it from me.
Pretty sure he kills his kid and kills himself. Because of, like, I don't know exactly what happens, like, leading up to that moment.
So who played Far Cry? Did Vinny play the 6th one?
No, he hasn't played it yet.
Fucking...
Like I said, I didn't play. I only played through 4. Like 4 is the one that I've only I played straight through. I never tried 5 because it did just get added to Game Pass though, so I might try it.
Oh, did it? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try it too.
Far Cry.
Can you play 2-player? Can you go through it 2-player?
Yeah, let's go out.
Let's go.
Far Cry.
If I download it though, because
Yeah. Well,
I'm lacking on the downloads. I gotta fucking delete a gigabyte worth of stuff. Not even a gigabyte, a terabyte worth of Call of Duty, which is just one game, by the way.
250 gigs.
If Modern Warfare 2 is like that, I think I'm with you. I'm just downloading.
I'm just gonna play the campaign, and then that shit's getting deleted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck that. Because I'm like, I don't play fucking Warzone, right? I don't care how many times you go back into the past. Like, I don't care. But all right, sorry. Go ahead. You're talking about Far Cry 4.
To me, the villain from Far Cry 4 is probably one of the best villains in my opinion. I think it's just because like
look him up.
They made him relatable. Not entirely relatable because you don't really understand what's going on in his mind. Mm-hmm. But like as they do with every Far Cry game, and I don't know how it is in 6 because like I said I haven't played 6, though I'm fairly certain they did make it so that you can do the same thing. Yeah, Pagan Min.
Oh, that guy looks familiar.
Pagan Min. Him, so at the beginning of the game, you get to this castle. So at the beginning, you don't really understand what's going on in the country itself.
Yeah.
You're just going there to basically spread your mother's ashes. Because this country that you go to, that's where your mother was originally from.
Right.
So your plan is to go back there and spread her ashes so that she can be... I think it's either spread her ashes or place her ashes in like a specific area where your sister's ashes are.
Yeah.
Either way, that's your whole objective for going there in the first place. But during that, you get stopped by somebody that's helping the rebels in that game. He tries to kind of convince you you're not like fully on board. But then your truck gets stopped and you both kind of get captured.
Yeah.
Like, their real target was you. Like, him, he's the reason that you get stopped and kind of get, like, taken off of that. Is because he knows your mother, he knows your father, and he knows, like, everything. Like, throughout the game, you're led to believe that he's kind of, like, the reason that everything happens. Like, he isn't, like... He's truly an asshole. Like, he's the reason your mom left. He's the reason your sister's dead. He's the reason your father's dead. Like,
yeah.
But at the beginning of the game, after he takes you and you go to like his mansion and everything, he leaves. He leaves the room. You have two options from there. You can either leave the room, go and try and help the rebel that got you there, and that kind of kicks off the actual game. Or you can just wait for him to come back. And he eventually will come back, and it'll kick off a cutscene, it'll go through a little sequence, and then that's the end of the game.
What?
every Far Cry game has this like certain like one at this one point near the beginning of the game where you can end the game right then and there. In Far Cry 5, you go into Montana because that's where it takes place, Montana.
Of course it does.
And then the whole point of you being there is to go in and arrest the main villain of the game. But you can just walk away and not arrest him. And then that's how the game is. You basically just say, all right, it's your fucking problem. Deal with it.
Damn.
And then you just leave.
Right.
That's how the fifth game ends if you don't want to play through. Like that's how the ending is if you decide not to arrest him.
Right.
You just leave.
That's funny as fuck. And then does it roll credits and everything?
Yeah. It's literally you beat the game by just like not doing whatever they want you to do right at the beginning. But in 4, if you wait there long enough, he will take you to the place where you're supposed to put your mother's ashes, and he'll explain during that whole sequence that like and eventually you do find this out when you play through the regular campaign, but like the reason your mom ran away to like the US is because he helped her escape your father.
Oh.
Like he's set up to be a villain throughout the game if you play through the game the regular way. But like you really if you do this like alternate beginning of the game, like you realize right off the bat that he's not actually a dickhead. He is an asshole.
Yeah.
That he is an asshole 100% through and through.
Yeah.
But like he's not really the villain. Like in a sense you kind of are because you come there and you kind of start up shit.
Oh, then that's kind of wild then.
Because he'll even tell you at the beginning of the game, like once you've taken over the country with the rebels' help, and eventually storm his mansion and take it over, because you don't kill him, he just leaves.
Right.
He tells you like this was always your country from the beginning. Like,
yeah.
If you wait at the beginning of the game, you're basically in charge of the country. Like you and him rule the country more or less.
Right.
Like he was just waiting to hand the keys off to you.
Right. Well, at the end of
at the beginning of the game, you and him essentially. I'm led to believe that you show up there and then you help him finish what he started, which was taking care of the rebels that were following your dad. Your dad's dead. In case you were wondering. Like,
yeah. Okay.
At that point, he's already dead.
Right.
So
right.
But yeah. You basically, once you get to the end of the game and he starts to leave, he's like, this was all yours from the beginning. All you had to do was wait like I told you to for me to come back. And then I could have explained everything at the beginning of the game.
Damn, bro. I'm going to have to look it up. I'm going to have to like watch it on YouTube.
It's fun. I had a lot of fun with Far Cry 4. And like I said, they set him up to be a good villain. I enjoyed... Like, him as a whole, he's fucking great.
Yeah. Is he funny?
Yeah, he's funny.
All right. Then I'm all the way in.
It's good. I mean, aside from that, like, for me, I think the best villains for me are, like, the most relatable. So, like, you don't watch Attack on Titan, but you have watched a little bit of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Well, the part that you've only watched a little bit of the first season.
Yeah.
Like, the part where I'm at now, like, Aaron is technically a villain.
Really?
That man's a menace.
He's a menace to society?
That man's a menace, but I can understand why he's a villain. Like, I understand 100% why he's doing everything that he's doing up to this point in the show.
Right. Well, I heard, I don't know if Wayne watched it. Somebody was telling me about it. And they said eventually it's like, what you realize is, or towards the end of it, right? Or no, was it you that was showing me the clip about like when like they're essentially just leading a raid. All the giants are leading a raid on like this like tiny little country that has like cannons and shit, and then he's just destroying them.
Oh, is it the last scene?
Yeah.
Is it?
I think you showed me.
Is it when they're all coming out of the water? And
yeah.
That's the very last episode they released. Like we're waiting now to get to the actual end of the show. So right now, season 4 was supposed to be split in 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you were supposed to get the first half, which we got a while back, and then we got the second half, which is what we've just now seen.
Yeah.
But now they decided to do a part 3 for it.
Right.
So that's gonna be hopefully that's gonna be the actual end of the show.
Right. Because I remember he's like a skeleton or some shit like that, and he's like harbingering all these people to come out of the water or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's weird to explain. It's basically just his head and then like a whole like skeletal rib cage. It looks more like a worm than anything else.
Yeah, and then like, aren't they in that?
Yeah, so the Titans, those Titans originally are what is inside of the walls on their island.
Right. Okay.
So those Titans, what he does is basically break them out of the walls, and then they're not just walking on like a small country, they're destroying the world.
Yeah.
So like that scene that you're seeing right now, that's them making it to the country that they're mainly fighting at that point.
Right.
But those Titans are sent out all over the world to destroy everything.
Gosh. So that's why he's a villain. He's just destroying the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
but isn't it because he's on like a little island that makes Titans?
So he's on this island. The island that they're on is technically like a prison. That's what the country that they're fighting calls it. Like that's like a prison. But for them, like for the people that were living inside of the walls, up until all of the events from the first like 3 seasons happen, they think they're the last people left in the world. Like they think that the Titans are like all of this. They basically think that the walls that they're in right now, that's it. That's just humanity. That's all that humanity's left.
Damn, so they bamboozled them big time.
Like the people that are living on that island, they're the ones that turn into Titans.
Right.
But the only way to turn them into Titans is basically like taking spinal fluid from Titans and then injecting it into the people, and then they'll turn into Titans.
So why don't they just do that to themselves?
Because they can't turn back. They can't all turn back.
Oh, so you have to be a special one. You have to be born as a Titan to turn back?
No. So there's... I don't remember how many there are, but there's certain Titans that have special abilities, and that's why you see some turn into and then turn back from the Titan forms. Basically, that is like specific to them. So if... Not necessarily specific to them. Anybody who eats... Aaron, the main character, is like... He has the Attack Titan. But the reason he has the Attack Titan is because his dad had the Attack Titan, and he ate his dad.
Yeah, he's a villain. He's a menace, bro.
But he didn't do it willingly. His dad injected him with it without telling him what was going on and had him eat him. Like, his dad let his son eat him. That's weird. As weird as it sounds.
Yeah.
So, like, if anybody ate Aaron that was, like, an Eldian, they end up becoming like that Titan. Like they'd get the power of the Attack Titan. It's weird. It's weird. But
damn, bro. That's insane, yo.
But nah, the reason I'm saying like
Japanese people are like nuts when it comes to storylines, bro.
I'm telling you, Aaron is a true villain, bro. Like you don't even realize it. This last half, so part 2 of season 4, like it's explained that the Attack Titan, they have like a special ability to kind of connect with every iteration. Not every iteration. They have an ability to kind of connect with like different iterations of the Attack Titan.
Oh.
So like
if you're like a Model 1, like an old school, you can still connect with like the newer models.
Well, what it shows is that like this version, so Aaron, the current version of Aaron was able to talk to his dad.
Oh, okay.
And he was talking to his dad while his dad was watching him growing up.
Yeah.
And telling his dad what needed to be done in order for them to, like, win.
Wow.
Bro, that shit's wild. Like, he makes his dad... now, this is something that gets shown kind of throughout, I think, Season 2 and Season 3.
So, wait. So, he, in the future, he becomes this Attack Titan.
Well, Well, he becomes this Attack Titan during the first season.
Okay.
So he eats his dad during the first season, but you don't know that.
Right. Okay. So,
but he doesn't start doing all of this. Like, he doesn't start talking to his past. He doesn't start talking to his dad until everything that's happening in the fourth season.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right.
And you don't know that he's taught. Like, you don't realize that he's making his dad do these things.
Right. So, what does he make his dad do? Oh, he makes his dad give him the serum so he can eat him?
Well, he tells his dad that he has to do that, but there's this one point where... So his dad is basically a doctor, and throughout the story, you don't realize that he came from outside the walls originally.
Yeah.
So, like, a lot of stuff happened to him before that. Like, either way, long story short, he gets to this part where he basically knows that he has to kill the royal family. And that involves killing, like, there's, like, 4 children there. There's the mom, the dad, and then, like, the woman that's, like, the secret king, more or less. She has the power of the Founding Titan. And the Founding Titan is, like, I don't know. It's basically the Founding Titan has a bunch of powers that can control all of the people that can turn into Titans.
Oh, okay.
But they make a vow, at least the royal family makes a vow to, like, just kind of let their people die off instead of fighting back. Mm-hmm. And that vow can't be broken by the royal family, and that's why he makes his dad. So up to that point, you're led to believe that his dad just comes in, kills the royal family, and then, like, takes the power of the Founding Titan, and then eventually passes on to Eren. You don't realize that Eren is the reason, like, his dad wants to stop before he even has to kill them. He's like, I can't do this. My job is to save people, not kill people.
Yeah.
And you want me to kill kids too? Nah, man. He forces his dad to kill them and then eat the Founding Titan. And his dad goes insane. Like, you literally see him, like, lose it after he does that, because he's, like, leaving. He doesn't know what's about to happen, because at that point when he's leaving, like, the very next day or, like, that same day, the wall that his wife and then the little kid version of Eren, that wall is getting destroyed, and the Titans are coming in. His wife gets killed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just weird, bro.
He loses it? He just has, like, a mental breakdown?
He's like, are you happy now? I did it! I killed them all! I didn't even want to do it, but I did it! Like, it's so...
He just loses it?
I watched that fucking scene a few times, and I'm like, that shit was so fucking good to me.
Yeah.
It was so epic.
That's
I was like,
wild,
the way
bro.
that they like... When you realize that, like, he's able to talk to his dad, you're like, oh my god, his dad wasn't an asshole.
Yeah.
Eren's an asshole.
Oh my god, bro! My mind is blown right now. I haven't watched. I've watched a little piece of that movie, or not movie. That anime, and my mind is blown right now.
Yeah,
that's nutty.
It gets wild, bro. It gets wild. Like, I'm set. I'm ready for them to release this last season, but yeah. I'm also at the same time like, damn, like I'm really at this point where I'm like, damn, this show's actually gonna end.
Yeah,
because the manga's done. Like, this is the final season. I just don't know if part 3 is going to be the final part, or if they're going to get to the end of part 3 and they're like, okay, well, we got like a movie left to go, and then the show's finally over. I'm like, okay, well, why did you fucking make a movie? Why didn't you just make it to the last couple of fucking episodes?
Yeah, seriously. It's gonna be like a Stranger Things situation, because Stranger Things. Literally just the last part, like the last 2 episodes, are like 3 hours long. Like that's together, not each one, but like together, it's like almost 4 hours worth of stuff that happened.
Fuck's sake!
Yeah,
and that's not even the final. Like, season 4 isn't the last part, is it?
No.
Yeah, it's tripping.
Yeah, Yeah, I just wish at this point, I wish they would just, I think they're going to go try to release everything in volumes. I just hope they don't try to do this thing, because you know that they were, the only reason they released it on July 1st is so that you'd have to renew your fucking membership for the month. The only reason. But either way.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we're coming up on 2 hours here.
I know, and we only talked about like 3 things. Like, the rest of it has literally just been us going off on some crazy shit.
On some entertainment.
Yeah, sorry guys. You know us.
Yeah, I
mean, we may have stuff written down, but honestly, that's just stuff to like glance at and give us a general idea to talk about it.
Yeah, and plus, you really want us to sit here and talk about fucking Roe v. Wade, bro?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have been talking that. I can't add anything to that would like be significant enough to make an impact. So
yeah, it's like I don't give a fuck, bro. Let these girls get scooped out.
Yeah, like
who the fuck cares, bro?
I think we were on Xbox when somebody told me that, like,
oh yeah, Anthony told you. Anthony told
right.
you. Yeah,
I was in shock. I was like,
it's crazy.
That shit really happened. I couldn't believe that shit. Like, I didn't hear anything about that leading up to the day that they were just like, yeah, you're not allowed to get no abortions anymore, but I did not know that was even like being questioned in Supreme Court, whether or not that was allowed. I was just like, okay, well, I mean, people can. I don't
Everyone's going to argue over it, but like, for it to be legislated.
This is another one of those things where I'm like, I don't usually get involved in these conversations because I'm just at a point where I'm like, just let some motherfuckers do whatever the fuck they want to do. Dude, as long as it don't if it doesn't affect me, I don't care.
Yeah, like I'm never gonna have to get an abortion in my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like but if Shorty wants to get an abortion, let Shorty get an abortion. Like what? And then the whole point of it is like, one of the justices was just like, oh, it's morally wrong. And it's like, is everything, like, there's a lot of shit that's morally wrong that's still legal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could scheme a person into giving you a lot of fucking money, and it's not illegal because they gave it to you, but it's still a scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still, like, you still was like all those Nigerian people that got those grannies to give them like $20,000. Like that was a scheme. Like that was some fuck shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, imagine if that was your grandma that got scammed out of like there's a woman that got scammed out of like $200K by like one of these people that's sending them emails. So it's like, that stuff isn't illegal, right? But you can't just make everything that's immoral illegal. Right, or you can't make what you consider to be immoral illegal, right? Like the law should be blind. The law shouldn't favor the right, shouldn't favor the left.
I don't know.
So just let shorties rock. Like why do we have to make it this whole big thing? And I don't know, it's bullshit. And then Clarence Thomas, who was like one of the justices, is like, we have to take a look at the same-sex marriage. I'm like, you're an idiot, bro. Like, what the fuck is those just two people?
Did they not just like make that legal a year or two ago?
Well, I think it was more than that. It was like when Obama was still in.
Oh,
but it's like, bro.
No, you might be right about this one. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But
I just said I don't know when they fucking legalized gaming. Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was either right before or right after we got out of high school. They made it legal.
Okay.
Dude, and to me, I didn't even know that shit was illegal. I had no idea that you couldn't marry.
Was it illegal beforehand?
No, I didn't know. Well, because like I had no idea that you could marry a person of the same sex. I had no idea. Well, because maybe, you know, when I was younger, I had I still have an aunt that's lesbian, but I always just referred to her partner, her lifelong partner, as her wife, and they were like cool with it. So I was like, oh, I didn't know. I never knew it was illegal. Literally my entire life, never knew it was illegal until they said it was legal.
I don't know. Like, again, that's another one of those situations where I'm like, just let them motherfuckers do whatever the fuck they want to do. And it's like, it's not going to cost me money for gay people to get married. So what the fuck is it? What am I going to do sticking my neck in that business? Nothing.
Yeah,
it does nothing for me. Let them get married.
It just pisses people off.
Like, gay people ain't going to come up to you and you're like, you're getting married to a woman? You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, fuck you. What do you mean I can't do that? It's like, I'm spending my fucking money to do it. You can't tell me what the fuck I'm going to do and not going to do.
If anything, gay dude would be like, listen, her dress looks awful. You need to change that. Like, they'll give you pointers on how to dress. You're like, listen. You know what I mean? So shout out to the gay people. But, like, yeah, I don't know. Fucking these chicks, bro. And it's like, just these old motherfuckers that already have kids, can never have another kid if they wanted to because their shit's all dried up. And they want to pass legislation for younger people. It's like, shut up, bro.
Somebody was telling me the other day, and I don't remember who it was. It's weird because I don't talk to that many people, as you know. I don't remember who the fuck it was.
It's probably one of us.
No. It was somebody at the graduation party for my brother.
Oh, okay.
And they were like you're like she was saying like our generation was supposed to be the one that like comes into politics and kind of like changes everything up. I'm like, clearly you didn't know my fucking class in high school.
We were assholes.
That was the worst. Like, you know, most people, they're like, oh, class of whatever is like the best class ever. I'm like, my class was full of fucking dickheads.
Yeah, and we admitted it too. Everyone in our class was like, yeah, our class was like probably the worst class.
Yeah, like our teachers were like, our class was the worst class, like 100%.
Yeah, like that. Like when we graduated, like there's teachers that told. I remember there was I want to say she was like a political science teacher. I think somebody had her. Somebody that I used to talk to that I don't talk to anymore was like, yeah. She said, yeah, I'm glad you guys are like leaving because you guys are like assholes. And I was like.
Our class just did stuff. They just took shit to a whole new level.
Like we threw like, what did they do? They threw like smoke bombs in the fucking like into the vents and shit. Like the
stink bombs, I think.
Stink bombs, yeah. The day before they had like a big fan going and shit like that. Like, yeah, we had a lot of. We
had one bathroom open for like 3 years of high school because
it's still like that. And there's no doors on the bathroom in the stalls anymore. Yeah, thanks to us. So, yeah,
because of bomb threats, because people would just write bomb threats on in the bathroom, and you know, school's got to take that shit seriously.
Yeah,
because God forbid anything actually happens like that.
Yeah, and they were like,
but at the same time, like when we had a bomb threat every couple of days. Kind of getting ridiculous now.
Yeah, there was like a week where we had literally a bomb threat every day, like from Monday to Friday. We were evacuating every day, and it was like, come on, like it's written on a fucking piece of toilet paper with a pencil. You really think that they're gonna blow up a school?
I don't remember if it was our class or the class right before us, but one of the senior pranks that they did was they went and like sliced all the tires on the buses. Oh, don't you remember? Because we had like it was either a day off or we had like a random 2-hour delay one day.
Yeah. They went. It was like they got like half of the buses too. They got like half of the buses in the district.
I don't remember if that was from our class, which I thought it was, or if it was from the class that graduated the year before us.
I don't remember. Well, I didn't take the bus the last 2 years because I was on crutches, so like I didn't know about it. But it was like a random delay from like because literally half of the students weren't going to get to school because they slashed all these tires. Yeah, it was like on the news. They needed to
use like the older buses too to come pick us up, and we were all just standing at the bus stop like, I'm not getting in that fucking bus, bro. Yeah,
or they would pick you up in like the short bus. Like the little bus,
they got jokes if they think I'm getting in that. Look.
Yo, do you know that happened to me one time at the end of it was one summer break. It was the end of a year, I think, in middle school. And the bus that I usually took was one of those old buses where like the front of it was just flat, right? Yeah. And you know what I'm talking about? So like it was just a flat fucking bus, and that dude used to whip that shit, bro. Right? But the shit broke down like the last day. Like he was bringing the last students in, and that shit just went. It was like a jalopy. It was like it like backfired, and it was just done, right? And then they showed up, and there was like 30 students on this bus. They put us in a short bus. Like they pulled up in like a van pretty much, and we were just sitting in the fucking van, and there was like 3 people that had to sit in one seat because there was too many kids on there. So we're like sitting next to these people, like squished next to them. It was awkward.
I'd have been mad as fuck. I think at that point I'd just been like, I'm fucking walking home. That wasn't even worth the effort.
Yeah, that was
It
funny.
wouldn't be the thing for me is that I was okay with walking home when I was in high school because I did that shit every day, almost every day.
Yeah, I remember we had a pep rally. Remember this? I was on crutches. I spent literally 50% of high school on crutches. So like these guys, him and Justin bring my bag. Right, we go to this pep rally, and it's guys. This is the last period of the day. If the pep rally is like 30 minutes, you're gonna watch these guys do a big song and dance, and then it's gonna be over. So they show up. They're like, "Yo, Jay," right? They take my stuff in. I'm like, "All right, where are you guys gonna sit?" They're like, "We're not sitting anywhere. We're out." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Why are you guys leaving?" He was like, "We just don't want to watch the pep rally. We're out. We're walking home." I'm like, you guys are ridiculous.
This is dumb.
And they literally just dropped me off, gave me daps, and they were gone. They were going down MacArthur Road.
Walk to the end of the fucking hallway, the F wing. Walk out of the fucking door that's right next to the health class and just go.
Mm-hmm. That's what you did. They walked because he walked me to the gym. So he dropped me off at the gym where they were still setting everything up because I could leave like a couple minutes early, and then you were just like, "They're like deuces, bro. We're out. We're out of here."
It's just it's either like it was either that or the spot, ironically, on the opposite side of the building from the way that we normally come in. Mm-hmm. You know, where all the history classes are, and like Mr. Komposky was down there. So you know the side. Wasn't the studio there?
The studio was that around the back of the English classes?
Nah.
They had they had like the only like it was like the faculty only bathrooms, and there was all like that all those windows.
There was a bunch of doors.
Yeah, around the back. You would just walk out those doors.
Yeah, it was weird because like you'd think that would be the worst spot to walk out from, but nah, I just walked out.
Yeah,
and then walked home.
That's what it was. And then I remember our boy Jimmy. When we were going to see a movie one day. Was it? We were going to the movies or something like that. We were going to see Krampus, was it?
We definitely saw Krampus. I definitely remember seeing Krampus with Jimmy in the theaters, but
we were going we were going to do something, and Jimmy at the time was homeschooled, and he lived in Copley, or Egypt, something like that. He lived. So our school, essentially, right? Like our school, we went to Whitehall. Our school is sort of like the middle between where we live, or where I live now, where he lived, and where our boy Jimmy lived. That was the middle. So you'd have to walk, like, had to have been like 7 miles, just to get to where like our neighborhood. And he walked to the school, met him. He skipped class and then walked home and like just hung out with Jimmy at your guys' house or your mom's house or something like that.
Probably.
Yeah. And because isn't that when your mom said that she didn't like Jimmy? She thought he was a bad influence. He's like, I don't understand why. He's like, I'm just chilling.
She doesn't realize that I was a bad influence. Like
yeah. No, that was funny. That was like, I forget what we did something that day.
It's odd that like most people don't think that I was the bad influence on pretty much anything. Like you, like your mom and Jerse's mom were like
you gotta.
It's like he's not the bad influence. One of y'all two is.
Yeah. Well, I think. Listen, I think I would have been the bad influence if like I just was if I didn't want to drink as much, because like for me, if I'm gonna drink, I'm getting fucked up. Like that's just the way I'm wired. Maybe it's because like alcoholism runs on both sides of my family. So like if I'm drinking, I'm getting tore up. But like if I did that more, but I just don't have the energy to do it. You know what I mean? Like I just don't have the energy to like drink until I'm fucked up. Like I want to eat. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? There's other things I want to do.
I don't even know if there's like a bad influence in our group. I think it's more
Not really.
Like we're just collectively like. If we don't want to do something, we're not going to do it.
Exactly. But it's cool because we kind of respect it. Like we respect the boundaries. Where it's like we may like fuck with you. I'll be like, come on, bro, get a beer or something, right? You're like, nah, I'm chilling, right? But then like the boundaries are respected. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's so cool. That's like the good thing about having good friends is that like you kind of each have like your own thing. But like you just do it, and like I'm comfortable with you doing your thing. You're comfortable with me doing my thing, and we're just vibing.
It's like
that's like the dopest thing.
Right, what I did before I came in here. I told you what I was about to do. I didn't smoke.
Yeah.
It's just waiting for me out there as soon as I get back in my car.
That's a vibe, though. That's a vibe. That's a vibe thing. It's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, but that's like the whole thing. It's like I'm not really. That's not me. It's not really that's not my extracurricular to partake in, right? But we're vibing.
Yeah, like
I'm saying, like we still just hang out. Yeah.
The whole bad influence thing. I don't think there's like really a bad influence. I think it's more like a mutual thing where like,
yeah.
So Jerson started skipping school with me.
Yeah.
And in like our senior year.
Yeah.
But I started doing that I started skipping class when I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And then I just started skipping school when I was a junior.
Yeah. And then Jerson started skipping with you in senior year, and then I started in college. We wouldn't go to that.
College was just bad. That's why that was why I was going to bring up the bad influence thing, because like for me and Jason,
I don't think
like I in the college classes that we took together, it wasn't a me or him were a bad influence on each other.
It was mutual.
We were mutually bad influences on each other, because we just like. Well, we'd go to Chipotle, we'd eat something, go back to school. We'd literally be parked out front, in front of the class we had to go to, like literally in front of the windows. And we'd just look at each other and we're like, we're not going.
And I just put it reverse. We just drive out.
Yeah, just drive out.
And go to, where would we go? Were we going
anywhere? If we didn't have any other classes that day,
just go home and
it
get
was
on
either
Xbox.
Go home or go to fucking library for some godforsaken reason.
Oh yeah, and just hang out with everyone
and just spend
or the cafeteria.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 hours just chilling, talking to people in the cafeteria or in the fucking library.
Yeah, I remember the one time we sent him an email. I remember the one time we were literally all right. So the building where we had this history class, right? The middle of that building was the cafeteria. So we were literally in the building on the bottom floor, and we were like, we don't want to go to class. You email him on your phone. We're standing 20 feet away from the classroom. We go up, and we're sitting in the cafeteria, and the teacher walks by to go down to the class that we just told him we're not going to. That was peak like roughness. But I think bad influence just happened when you're a kid. When you're older, everyone just does their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just vibing now.
The thing for me is still to this day is that like it really does seem like that class we easily failed, but we didn't.
We passed it. We passed it with like a B.
I had a B. That was the lowest fucking like history class grade I had in college.
Yeah, we had a B. Had 89
because
in that class.
I don't even know how many fucking days we showed up for. Like I'm fairly certain we showed up for less days than we missed. Like.
No, the guy he sent you an email back. He said you've missed like half of the semester.
I'm like,
and that was like 3/4 of the way through the semester.
Like I missed half of the semester, but you're not making it worth going. Like,
yeah, but the thing is that like literally all we would like you could pass that class without a like I don't understand why attendance was mandatory, because all you had to do was read. Like, that's it. All you had to do was just read about the stuff they were talking about. And then in class, like, you would just go there, and he would read out of the book, and you'd read with him. It was like going to like a preschool class. You would just read.
It was just bad.
And then you'd show up for a test or a quiz or something like that, and that would be it.
I basically just showed up to sleep. Like,
yeah, when we did go to that class, we were pretty much asleep. I remember the one time we went to Chipotle, and then we went back to class. And I'm sitting there, and I'm already struggling to keep my eyes awake because the room was always warm, right? So it was always a warm room. And I look over at him, and he's like pressed up against the AC, and he's like, I'm like, no way. He's not even like this, like trying to pass it off until like he's sleeping. I mean, he has his head all the way back, and he's just knocked out, mouth open and everything. I was like, and I look at him, and I'm like. I'm like, no way, dude.
I'm telling you, I could just fall asleep anywhere. That's like, so it's pretty bad.
He just out.
That's the thing. Like with the job I have now, I literally have to walk around for 10 hours.
Yeah.
I close my eyes while I'm walking around.
While you're walking to the robot, and throw him the shit, and then he takes it somewhere else.
I will if I start walking down one of these aisles and there's nothing in that aisle, I will fucking close my eyes and walk down that entire aisle.
Wow, I don't blame you.
I can't keep my eyes open with that fucking play. I'm just like, I feel like a fucking zombie. Like I'm just walking around, no sense of fucking, no sense of anything that's going on around me.
Yeah, you know what was funny? I saw this thing. You know who Spice Adams is? No. He was a football player, but then he does these like sketches online. He's kind of funny, but he played football for a while. He played for the Bears, played at Penn State, and he hurt his back when he was playing football. So he said sometimes his back will just slip and it'll be stuck like that for a little bit, and he has to stretch. He said one time he's like this is like kind of what happens when you play football for so long. And he does something, and he's like doing a dance or whatever, and he goes, and he's like stuck sideways, and he's walking, he's like, shit. And he's like walking like this, and Kevin Hart comments, he goes, I thought this was your audition tape for The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought you were auditioning for The Walking Dead. Because he's sideways, he's like, fuck. He's like making like grunting pain noise, he's like, damn, fuck. And Kevin Hart, that shit had me dying, bro. That was so funny, son. Remember we saw Kevin Hart when he came to the PPNL Center.
Yeah,
that shit was so funny, bro. That was funny. Did he take our phones? I can't remember.
Like we weren't.
They said they were like, if you have your phone out. I
don't think they took the phones. I think they just like we weren't allowed to have them out to record anything.
Oh yeah,
because
they said if you catch a record and they'll throw you out.
Yeah, something like that. Because whatever show that we went to, I mean. The show, I know what show we went to because on Netflix it's the one called What Now?
Yeah, we went to that one. Did they actually film?
They filmed it when he was in Philly.
Oh, okay.
But because they didn't like release it or anything, I guess they didn't want anybody to put that shit online.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess so. I mean, I'm not going to film anyway. I'm too busy watching fucking this guy laugh. But I guess some people would like take it out of context.
Yeah.
If he was taking a joke or something. So I guess that makes sense. I mean, we could save this for later, for like next week or something, if you want to talk about it, because we talked about it at length on the Fly Equals Fly pod about Matt Stafford. But I definitely want to save this because I want to talk about that, the Skull and Bones pirate thing.
Oh yeah,
definitely want to talk about that though. But I want to do more research on the Skull and Bones thing because do they have like gameplay out for it and stuff or no?
No, right now the rumors are saying that Skull and Bones is going to get an announcement and a release date this month. So
okay, all right, that'd be kind of dope. I like that.
Hopefully, I mean, I don't know. This has been like kind of pushed back for a while. Like I think Skull and Bones got released, or like they announced Skull and Bones before they released like the last 2 Assassin's Creed games.
Oh, okay. So it's just like it's announced and then they just keep pushing it because they have other stuff they have to fill in.
I don't know if it had to do with like other stuff that they had to fill in, or if it was just like I don't know.
This wasn't on their priority list.
I don't know if it had to do with like priority list or like whatever they were doing. They weren't like they didn't think it was good enough to be released, so they just kept redoing it. So I don't know. This could be another like bait and switch, like they did with the Division, but I don't know.
Oh, that would suck.
Nah, to be fair though, like the first Division when they announced it at E3 and they showed off the stuff at E3, it was pretty hype. And to be fair, the game really isn't too much different from what they showed.
Yeah. But
I was hoping more to see what they showed off at E3 when they originally announced the Division, and what we got was not it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was like there was like a whole like channel dedicated to the Division. Remember, I was watching it, but yeah,
it's because they did like literally leading up to the Division being released. Like they even did like a little mini series, like a live action mini series. So they had like they built hype for the game, and then the game came out and it was just not what you expected. It wasn't as bad a flop as like Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but that game was just completely undone. Like I don't know why they delayed it and it just fucked it up.
I don't know. That had like a whole series of issues going on with it before too, and that's why like I think we've talked about it during one of the past podcasts, but there's a game coming out soon. It's called The Day Before.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, a lot of people are really hyped for that game.
I just hope it doesn't end up like Cyberpunk.
I don't know, because right now some of the rumors that I've read, like I read an article, I think, yesterday that was saying, like, they have actually been taking, like, volunteers to come and work on their game.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I'm like, okay, hold on now.
That's, like, not good.
Hold on.
Yeah,
You mean to tell me you got volunteers just coming in and working on the game, like, right before you were about to release it? I'm like, you're crazy.
I don't know about all that. Yeah, that's craziness.
So I don't know. I'm going to hold off. I don't really think that my computer will be able to run The Day Before as well as my laptop would.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get The Day Before when it comes out regardless.
Yeah. Probably the best bet if they're taking fucking volunteers to work on it.
But hopefully it's not bad. Because I think they did say that they eventually are going to port it over to the consoles, but if it's not good, then there's no point. Like, that's just basically bringing Daisy. I don't like Daisy. I'm not going to say I hate Daisy because I never played Daisy on the computer, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But Daisy on the Xbox can eat shit.
It's not... I've never played on the... Well, I've always seen it being played, like, on the computer. I've never played on the Xbox, so I can't speak on it. I really can't speak on it.
Aside from that, I don't want to get too far into this conversation because if we keep going, we
better
gonna
have
go
an hour.
for 3 hours. We can go for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna stop here, we can stop here.
Yeah.
The gaming stuff will wait until we come back. Hopefully by the time, whether it's next week or 2 weeks from now, when I come back to do this next podcast, I will have watched some, if not all, of NAL. So we'll probably be able to talk about NALs for Siege, in case you guys were wondering.
Yeah,
I'm probably not going to watch too much of the other leagues because
I only watch NAL.
Yeah, like NAL to me is like the only one important for me to watch because that's that's North America, like that's our region to watch, and I like watching the European teams when it comes to like the international events. I like watching them. Yeah,
and like just to kind of see them so they don't look like complete strangers like when you play them. But no, I mean, again, like you said, it's the most important one just because that's where we live. So makes sense. So
I would say at least for next podcast, probably look forward to a lot more gaming stuff. We didn't even talk about a Modern Warfare 2. Like you lightly said it when we were making fun of the 250 years for Cold War.
Yeah, but we can. Yeah,
honestly, I forgot that was like. It's weird that like that's new. Like that's a new game. Like Modern Warfare 2 is new, bro. New.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, my bad. I mean,
you're good.
Scrape up on your knee. But yeah, we can talk about the gaming stuff next week because I don't have anything else really to talk about. I mean, we can talk about Siege. It's just nothing really to talk about there. But we already touched on everything else, so
I think we're good for now.
I think that's about it. And as usual, if you like our stuff, share it or like it, comment, subscribe to all that stuff. Tell your friends about it. Rate 5 stars. Do whatever you need to do. Or just give honest feedback if you like it. Or if you don't like it, let us know. Let us know what we could change. Right. But as usual, it's been your boys. We'll talk to you guys next week / next month, depending on whenever it is. Well, I think we should be able to do next week.
Probably.
Unless this is the big caveat, unless I get sucked into playing something with you guys and I just totally forget. Because that does often, actually happens more often than you might think. Yeah. But either way, deuce. Love y'all.
See y'all later.
That's
enough of our 2.5 hour.
Yeah, we out of here. Deuce, y'all.